Okay, well, no, wait a minute. I'm not making an actual cartoon. It's just an intro, so I better stop right there. Oh, hey everyone, this is Clay with DigiFactors Animation. Sorry about that. I was getting a little bit too carried away of creating that intro. There for a minute, I thought I was making an actual cartoon episode, but no, just an intro for my planes here. Alright, here on my monitor, you see in my Muvizu, I have created 4 different colored planes. Each plane is an ASE file due to the fact that it is the best format for video with transparency. And that's what those propellers are for. Okay? Now, the propellers, I created them, I drew them out in Paint.net, and then I animated them in Spriter. Once I got them animated in the Spriter, I render them into PNG file segments into a folder. And then I uploaded those file segments into VirtualDub. Did my little tweaks, and then I rendered it as an AVI file. Now, that allowed me to use that animated propeller video as a texture onto my ASE objects, which are the planes right here in front of us. Okay, let's get a closer look on that. Get my mouse over here. Okay, like I said, I got 4 different colored planes. Okay. Each plane has its own editable texture file that I included with the download. So everything is all in one file. But each plane has its own separate file for its textures. I have one texture that already has a logo on them, which are the planes that are right now. They all have their own logos in them. Okay. Now, if I take one and I right click on it, and then I'll go to edit, then I'll go to its properties. Now, if I click on the texture of that plane, and then I'll click on my import. Okay, right now it's already directed to my Planes of World War I's folder on my desktop. And in this folder, I had the black plane textures, the blue plane textures, the green plane textures, and the red plane textures. Alright, this texture right here is for your decals. I got decals in there. So if you got any decals that you would like to use, then you can place them into this folder for that way you know where they're at whenever you need to use them. Okay, and in this folder right here, let me show you the decals. These are the decals I got right now. Now you don't have to use these decals. If you got your own logo that you want to use or something like that, add it in there, and then you can add it to the textures of that plane. So let me go back, and this folder right here is the model files of the plane, and I got 2 different versions of the model. So if I click on that, wait a minute, plane models. Okay, well it's not going to show up because we're trying to open something with Muvizu, so it's not going to show the model files. I'll show that to you in a minute. So anyway, if I go back again, and let's go to the green planes textures. Like I said, I got 2 versions. Each color file of each plane has the same thing. I got one with the logos already on it, and one with the logos are not. So we're going to change it to that one. And you watch the logo on this plane disappear. So yeah, that is because I applied the editable texture to that plane. So it doesn't have anything on it because we didn't do anything to it. So, okay, let me show you how to edit that texture. Okay, let's minimize Muvizu. Now you may use your own image or photo editor or whatever you got, maybe like GIMP or Photoshop. But me, I use something that's free and simple to use, and it's just as good. So, and that's Paint.net. So let me open up Paint.net. Okay. Now I am going to open up that folder with the plane textures in it. So right here, planes of World War II. This is on my desktop, by the way. Planes of World War One. I'm sorry. So as you can see, these are all the files that will come with this set. So when you download it and extract it, then you'll have all these right here. So we're doing the green texture. So we'll click on the green file and then we'll click on plane 2, which is the editable. Now I may change the name of it to edit texture. So that way when you get it, you'll know which one you can edit. Okay, so we'll edit that. Okay, now before we add any of our own logos to the plane, we have to create a layer, which this is your layers windows right here. So at the bottom where with the plus sign, it'll say add new layer. We'll click on that to add a layer. So that top layer is the only layer we're going to edit. Okay, now that we got that top layer added, let's add our own logo. And like I said, you can probably use let's see, decals. You can probably use either one of these if you want, just by clicking it, and then you can like select it, copy it. Wait a minute, copy it. Okay, and then we'll go to the and then we'll paste it on that top layer. Just paste it, and then you just kind of scale it down to the size you need. Okay. And then you'll just copy it and paste again for the other side. And then one more time for the tail. And we may have to scale that down a little bit more for the tail as well. So like so. About like that. And then once you get it done, you can just go to image and then flatten, and it'll take it to only one layer again. So now those are added. Okay, now let's undo all that. Let's take those decals off. Let's say if I want to add my own. So I'll open up new file or open up an existing file of any picture that you got, image that you, excuse me, that you got. Now let's find my logo right here. And I'm going to add that logo on there. Copy. Okay, I'm on that top layer that I created. Paste. Now let's just scale it down to size and then rotate it. Okay, and then we'll copy and paste and move it right over there like that. And then again for the tail, copy and paste. Well, not copy, but paste. You only need a copy. I don't know why I did it twice, but anyway. I'll lose myself sometimes. Okay. And then you just shrink it down to where it'll fit right in that circle of that tail. About like that. Okay. And then you just, flatten the image to make one layer. And then you just save that as a PNG or whatever you want to save it to. Okay. So now that's how you do that. Now let's just say I want to make a different color, a different colored plane other than what the colors I have now. So let's undo all that. Even undo that top layer we made. We're not going to do the layer yet. So we're going to change the color to a different color. So what we do is we'll go to adjustments, and then we'll go to hue saturation. So we just mess around with the colors until we find the color that we want. Okay. Yeah, purple. We can do a yellow. Well, let's see. Or brown. That's purple. That's, I guess, dark blue, or is that purple? Either way. I think that's pink. Well, anyway. And then you kind of like brighten it down a little, lightness or whatever. And you can even do it in black and white. Say if you want to do the old movie or the old black and white effects, making your videos look old. Well, anyway, We'll just leave it there. Anyway, and then when you change the color, then you can save it, add a layer, and then add your decals to that. Yeah. So that's how you can edit, the files. So I'm going to change the name to this one to edit file or edit textures. So that's what the name is going to be whenever you open that file up. So we're just not going to save that right now. Now let's go back to Muvizu. Okay. Now let me show you how the propellers work. Okay. Now I have made three different speeds of the propellers. I got one start, slow, and fast. Start would be like just starting the engine. Slow is like starting to pick up speed. Fast is at full speed and able to fly. Now I also have a single image file to where the airplane is the propeller is not spinning at all. So let me right click on that, and then on the propeller we're going to click on this. Okay. All right. Now let's say if I don't want that propeller to be spinning. So what I'll do is I'll go to import, and it should take you back to your. Well, you'll have to guide it. We'll go to that. We'll go to the plane folder, and let's see. Let me make the icons a little larger. There we go. Now we can see it. All right. We'll go over here in the blades. Okay. And you'll see there's, like I said, I got start, slow, and fast. But we're not going to use that right now. So we'll go into the planes model folder. And these two textures are the default textures. So whenever you import the model of the plane right from the start, it's going to have these two textures on there. So let me add that, and you can see that now that the propeller is not spinning because I just turned it off by selecting that single file, image file. Okay, now let's just say, let's see, let's just say we want to start the engine now. So we'll click on start, and you'll watch it'll start off kind of slow, like that. Now it's starting up. Okay, now you can switch these textures in the timeline using your keyframes. Okay, and let me show you how to do that. So right now we're going to use that single file image. So we'll go back to the plane models folder and we'll click on the default blade. Okay, now let's say we want to animate it to where like it's going to start up and then, go to full speed. So we'll right click, go to direct, and we're going to go to direct properties. Okay. Once you go to direct properties, go to switch to prepare and then image. So image 1 is the body of the plane. So we don't want to change image 1. Image 2 is the texture of the blade, the propeller. All right, so we're going to click on keyframe. Now you see that is the image that we want to edit. So we'll click to switch to direct. Alright. So let's go ahead and add our first keyframe. And we're not going to do nothing on that first keyframe. Okay. Let's move that timeline a little bit out like that. Now let's move it up a little bit. And then we'll add a keyframe. Alright. And then let me move this down like that. Okay, and then we're going to click on the image. We're going to import. We'll go back out. We're going to go to blades, and then we're going to click on start. Okay. Now, if I move this off that keyframe, it stops. Move it back to the keyframe, it starts. So if I play it, voila, it started up. Now we want it to go faster. So let's move it up a little bit further. add a keyframe, click on the image, go into import, and you know we already did the start. So now we need the next one, speeding up to, speeding up a little. So we got that, and now it's going faster. So, okay, now we're going to move it right about here, and then we're going to click on add keyframe, and then the image again, go to import, and this time we're going to click on the fast. Now it's at full speed and it's ready to take offline. So let's play that back. There we go. Now that was a little bit too quick, so we'll kind of move them apart a little bit like so. Let's see. Now that's it. That's how you do it. Okay. That's how you animate the blade to get you started. All right. Now about importing a fresh plane into your set. So let me minimize Muvizu again, and let me show you those different model files. Okay, and we're going to open up our plane of World War I's folder, and we're going to go to plane models. As you can see, I got 2 ASE formats, and then 1 milkshake format. That way, if you want to alter the model itself, you can. Alright, now the first model plane is horizontal left and right. So if you import that one, when you put it in animation keyframe, you can only tilt the plane left and right. Okay, so horizontal left and right. This one right here, vertical up and down. So when you import that one and you put it in the keyframe, you can only tilt it up and down. So like the plane wants to go upward, you can just move it up, or if the plane wants to go downward, you can just move it down. So let me show you that, okay? So let's go back to Muvizu and I'll click on import. Okay, then we're going to go to our, let's go desktop and to our planes of World War I, and then click on the model folder, and then we're going to click on horizontal. Okay. Now when you do, you got to remember this. We got mask, opacity mask, and opacity in one model. So that's the importance of ASC format. Okay. So that way when you use the video texture for the propeller, it will have the transparency in it. So we got to make sure we click on opacity and opacity mask, and then click on double-sided. Alright, so and then we click OK to import the model. Okay, right off the bat, you notice that the plane is default black plane. That's the way I got it set. And it is set as the default edit texture. Okay, and that is along in with the model file, the texture is. And the reason why is with ASE, you got to make sure that your texture file is in the same folder as your ASE file. Okay, or when you upload it, you're going to get errors from Muvizu. Now, right now, the plane is kind of small. That is the size I've created it in. So what we need to do is right click, and we're going to scale it up, and I configure it to 4.6 to be the right size to put your character inside of the cockpit. So we'll scale it up to 4.6. Okay, like so. Now you may want to uncheck can be stood on. That way the character can be put into the model. Okay, here's our character. A character of me. Okay, so we'll just drag me over here. Alright, like so. And I am going to put me in the setting position. Like that. And then I'm going to put me underneath the plane just about like that. Now, how am I going to get myself up in there? And I'm just going to show you. First, I'm going to put the plane, well, let's put this plane into direct animation mode. So I'm going to go to the beginning of it, and then switch it to animate keyframe, and then I'm going to add my keyframe. So now I'm going to move that plane up like that. Okay. Okay. Now if I want to put me up in there, inside the cockpit, all I have to do is create a abstract object, which I like to use the cube. Okay, and then I'm going to put it right over the character like that. Okay, and then I'm going to right click on that cube, and I'm going to uncheck, I'm going to click can be stood on. Now he's setting on, or I guess setting on that cube. Alright, now on the cube's property, we're going to open that up and we're going to click uncheck visible. Okay, and then we'll go float in the air and we're going to move them up. Okay, so we got collision. Okay, we got collision between the cube and the airplane. So what we need to do is right click and go to direct and put that cube into keyframe mode. So add that keyframe right at it, and we got it like that. So let's get over here and make sure he's right inside that cockpit. Maybe a little bit too high. Let's see. Oh, not the plane. The cube. So, come on, cube. We'll move it down until he's like right there. Let's see. Center me off right off that right there. Okay. Now we have me in the plane flying in the air with the engine off. So let's right click on that. Okay, and as you can see now it says horizontal left and right. Okay, so we're going to go to properties and we're going to click on that, and then we're going to add that. I'll add this one. And that now Muvizu is acting a little crazy, but it's really spinning fast. So, alright. See, now it's in keyframe mode, and this is the horizontal left and right. So if I want to tilt the plane, it would only tilt left and right. So right now it's going right and left. And I notice that the character isn't moving along with it. Well, he won't. That's where green screen and all that comes in. And that's how I made that intro. Okay? Anyway. Now if I import the vertical model, so vertical up and down, and keep all of the settings that we made the same, and then let's go to physics, click on float in air, and then let's scale it to 4.6. Like that. Now I'm going to show you the up and down. So this is the vertical up and down. So we'll click on direct movement keyframe, and then we'll add a keyframe. Now watch, it goes up and down, but it won't go left and right. This is the left, up and down vertical. For some reason, in the keyframe, you only have two ways to turn, left or right or up and down. So in the modeler, it depends on which way you have the model facing when you import it to Muvizu. So yeah, so you got horizontal left and right, and vertical up, down and up, or up and down. So yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much what I have on the planes of World War One. Okay, this is pretty much it. Um, I'm going to put it in my Gumroad account. I'm going to set the price for about $5. It's not much. It's not much. So um, I did create these with Milkshake. I made the textures with Paint.net. So I mean, Paint.net's free. Anyway, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to add this to my Gumroad account, and you'll find the link below in the description of this video. So y'all go there, check out the link, and decide for yourself if you want to buy it or not. Okay, well that's pretty much it. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy this set, and y'all have a blessed night.